YouTube, what's good? See you later gaming here. Welcome back for another episode of the Game Lounge podcast, your first one for 2022. Rocking with me today is my co-host with the most, Ina. What's up, Ina?
Yo, hello. Just wanted to say you can hate or you can create. That's my opening statement for this.
Oh, we're getting deep
This
into
beautiful podcast.
NFT voice chat.
Look, I don't
Instantly.
want to hear your sacrilege, bro. You can hate or create, Alex. Just go with it.
That's it. Well, we're here today to create a new episode of the Game Lounge podcast.
We could hate it though too.
It's true. Are we big enough to have haters yet?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There was like one guy in Russia who just absolutely fucking hates us. Just dislikes every video.
Evil.
Evil.
Alright, well, because it's the first episode back for 2022, we're just going to go through our Game of the Year for 2021 because we didn't actually get the chance to do that.
Yeah, we kind of like left that accidentally. We were meant to do one more episode, but we kind of got busy.
That's it. So, yeah, we'll just sort of do a quick run through of this. I'll put a little timestamp in the description for anyone who kind of wants to skip over this and get into more of the newsy stuff. But if you are interested, we'll start off with the best game direction. So I'll start off and go, my pick for this one was Returnal. I think we kind of discussed this in our last podcast. If you missed that, go check it out. But I think like it had a new sort of take, was sort of a new game for the PS5, which was a cool use of the tech and everything. So that was why it got my pick there.
I went with Valheim for best game direction last year. I just think that the game set out exactly what it wanted to do. It stuck to its themes super well and didn't like get bogged down with like half-baked features, if that makes sense. I think it just had like a really strong identity and knew exactly what it wanted to be and how to make those systems like work kind of like off the box, even though it's still in early access. But I would say that's the game I think had the best direction for sure.
Nice. For best narrative, I've taken the pick of Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that one had a pretty decent story around it, and sort of utilized pretty well-established characters now within the MCU and sort of built on that universe and sort of added to their backstory a little bit more. And that's sort of why it takes that out for me.
I went with Psychonauts 2. I think it just had by far the best connection between environmental storytelling and actual narrative and using the environment to tell its story. And that's the thing that usually ends up always kind of winning best narrative for me. Typically year on year is how well did they use their environment to also effectively be a main character in the game. And I think Psychonauts 2 did it by far the best last year for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. That was a really good choice for best narrative. Next up, we've sort of got our best art direction. For this one, I've taken Artful Escape. So this was the one that was published by Annapurna.
Let's go.
Pretty cool. If you haven't had the chance to play this one yet, it's coming out on PlayStation, PlayStation 4 and 5, I believe, this week. So nice little nifty console pickup as well. So very cool art style, very, very fun. And I think it's well worth checking out. So if you haven't, it's a great indie game too. So that's why it takes out my little pick as best art direction.
Very cool. I went with Sable. For those who have been around the stream, this is probably not going to be a shock at all. Its art direction was like some of the most beautiful cell shading I've ever seen in the game, and then the way it uses its colors and it's like very warm tones during the day, and they're incredibly bright, and then dipping into purples and blues, and basically starving the world of color at night, so that when day rolls around again, it really makes you like, what's the word? Feel like I don't know, like kind of great that the color has like come back. Makes you more grateful. That's the word I'm looking for. That, you know, color is returned, and you know, it's just a super beautiful and has an amazing art style for sure. Definitely had the best art direction.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice.
Two indies,
Yeah,
two
there you
indies
go.
for art direction.
You love to see it. I mean, makes sense too.
It does make sense.
Yeah, they're usually the ones to break the bounds in that sort of topic, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Next one, Ina and I had a pairing here, so we both picked the same one. We both picked Cyberpunk 2077. As I said, we kind of spoke to this one in the last podcast, but I think we both picked this, but I guess because of its replayability outside of just the game itself. Like, while the score and the music is phenomenal, its ability to be played in its own like playlist or just individual songs outside of that is what did it for me.
Oh yeah, I've been bumping just the OST plus the like actual radio songs outside of like play sessions. Just like on the way to work, you just like put on Hole in the Sun and you just like ready to fight like really shitty people. It's fucking awesome.
Love that. For best audio design, I picked Returnal. I kind of picked that because it has like this definite like electronic sound, kind of dark, it's haunting, it's bleak, it really sets the tone and the environment for the game. And yeah, it's sort of like those high frequency type vibes too. So that's why I picked it, just because I thought it played really well into the overall game itself. So
nice. I went with RE8 Village. For those who saw the start of my playthrough on my stream before my PC died, that game was literally scaring the tits off me every 10 seconds. Like, just the actual like sound effects used in that game are just so meaty and also just so scary at the same time. Like, just hearing like crunches on snow and just like twigs breaking and like the brushing through like the long grass at like the farm area. Oh dude, it's actually just giving me the heebie-jeebies already just thinking of the sounds in that game. But also, in a way, the sounds that your weaponry also provide, so meaty, it makes you feel powerful when everything else is scaring the shit out of you. It's a really good juxtaposition.
Very nice. For best indie, I picked Kena, Bridge of Spirits. So I think this one was an indie, but it sort of had that AAA feel to it. And I mean, it has a AAA price tag as well. So, but it's also gotten really good reviews across the board. And I think it's something that's really pretty, really, really fun. Got that sort of Japanese art style to it, sort of like that anime feel to it a little bit. And yeah, I think that's why it takes out my best indie.
Yeah, that was an amazing indie game. It's kind of absurd that that's their first game and it looks like that. But I guess that also shows how far the industry's come in general, that you don't have to be this, you know, $150 million company anymore to like produce, you know, graphics that look like that anymore. It's all within reach. And then mine was probably easy as well. Best indie was Sable. Sable was just an absolute joy and one of my favorite games of all time. If you're someone who's really into games kind of about like self-discovery, you know, things like a la like Journey or Abzu, things like that, it's truly an incredible game. Definitely my favorite indie from the year.
Very nice. And to round it all out, we've got our game of the year. So surprisingly, this game wasn't one that took out any of my previous awards, but it was Resident Evil 8 Village. Sort of to Geordie's point, all of the weapons sounded really meaty. The story was really good. I think each of the like bosses in the game had like a really good backstory behind them, and were really fun and challenging, and sort of each in their own way built out that story. And I thought it was really, really well done. From end to end, it was definitely deserving of like a AAA title and a good contender for Game of the Year as well.
and I'm on. Well, I mean, I've already handed out 2 awards to it, so it's probably pretty obvious. It's Sable. Sable was my game of the year. Yeah, just it's so hard to quantify how it is so incredibly special, that game. Um, it was definitely like one of those games that changes your perspective on life and really makes you sort of think. But it's also like a game that just it's like right time, right place kind of deal. Like, it's a game about metamorphosis and change and figuring out who you're gonna be, and like that's kind of like a perfect theme of what's happening, in my life too at the same time, and followed up by like the most beautiful visuals of the year, an incredible soundtrack done by Japanese Breakfast, amazing meditative gameplay and movement mechanics and stuff. It's just, yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's on Game Pass. It's also really cheap too. So please, if it's something that you'd be interested in, please buy it. I beg you. It's worth your time.
Love it. And that sort of rounds out our Game of the Year awards for 2021. So we're going to jump straight into our usual segments from the podcast. The usual. Starting off with what we've been playing. Ina, do you want to take this away here?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so before my computer died, I was playing Resident Evil 8 Village. I think chat really liked me playing that game too, because I was constantly just getting jumped. My bones were getting rattled constantly in that game. But that game is really funny because it also has shown me that I'm still incredibly cracked at FPS games. I don't know what the deal is. It's just in that game, I'm just like on point constantly. I guess it's because my like senses are so heightened by how scared I am. So I guess I don't know. I guess that might be going for it. What else have I been playing? Okay, so basically, story is I was starting to record a YouTube video, right? I know, how crazy is that, Alex? How crazy? That's the craziest shit ever.
That's rare.
And it big rare. Because I've been writing some scripts actually lately for some different videos, video ideas that I want to do, kind of like essay style things.
Love it.
And started it up, and then my computer's like, you know what? I'm out, bro. And I'm just like, oh, sweet. So my motherboard, my GPU light and RAM is light is on, which basically means both got fried somehow, which is not good, as those are expensive parts. So we're currently on the stream instead of the tavern at the moment. We're at the traveling tent because our setup is so scuffed because I'm streaming on a laptop. So I think Chad's very amused by the traveling tent, but try and get back in the tavern as soon as renovations are done. You know what I mean? But while I've had all this time away from PC, man, I've just been smashing my Switch, bro. I've been playing so much Pokemon Sword because I went back to it because I realized I didn't really play it. Like, I finished the story, but I was like, oh, I kind of like haven't really seen that many new Pokemon. So like, it's been a journey in that game because I'm like, what the hell is this Pokemon? And it's just so many mons I've never seen before. And basically, Pokemon has just been my life, dude. I've been playing Pokemon Sword. I've been playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I bought a 3DS like a week ago and arrived like 3 days ago as well. And I've been playing some like Mario Tennis on that, and then also Pokemon Y. Dude, I don't know why. For some reason, my very smooth brain is like, hey man, you're down for the Pokemon right now. And I'm like, sheesh. I mean, I guess I am. So I've been playing simultaneously 3 different Pokemon games, and then I'm sure 4 will be added to that because I pre-ordered Arceus because, I don't have a computer. So I need something also to preoccupy my time. I just wish it didn't look like ass. But the mechanics of that game look really cool. We'll talk about that later, actually. But also, with my laptop, kind of feel bad for it because I'm putting it through its paces. I'm like, what if happens if I just overclock my laptop? And by overclocking my laptop, I could play Fallout 3 and stream at the same time. So I've been playing Fallout 3 on stream. We've been doing a bastard playthrough. My character's name is Mina because I'm very mean. So we're basically just doing every negative action we possibly can, like a renegade playthrough, if you will. So that's been really fun and really dumb. And then also before my PC died, we're doing an Oblivion playthrough too, which I really want to go back to. I made a character called Chad Shin. Basically, he's just this big burly dude, and I made his chin literally like a square, like the Crimson Chin.
Nice.
And we just use big two-handed weapons and just crush things. And it's great. I'm thoroughly enjoying that, so I really want to go back to that. And then the last game, which I started playing today, was actually Torchlight Infinite, which is a mobile game version of Torchlight. You know me, I'm down to try any mobile game. Apparently I'm the ARPG mobile man. And I've been playing it, and it's in its beta, just like Diablo was. And I think, at least from what I've played today, probably. Dude, I'm so good at talking. I played probably 2.5 to 3 hours today, and I think just off rip, I think it's more fun than Diablo Immortal. The character I'm playing is super fun. Yeah, it's such a good time. And yeah, it's actually surprisingly how good it is. I'm worried about the monetization of it, but yeah, it's looking good so far.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at a couple of pictures now. It does look nice and pretty. Interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess that's an upside, I guess, of having no PC at the moment, is the ability to check out some other stuff.
Oh man, I'm just clearing my back catalog.
Yeah, totally.
Everything that's on consoles, I'm just like, well, now's the time. like I'm getting around to finishing Tales of Arise and stuff too. Yeah, it's super great. Also, hello, welcome in, Raiders. Just a quick hello. We're doing a podcast. Welcome in. But yeah, it's definitely more actiony based. Because any of the gear that you like drops in the game is not equipped on your character. So I got a feeling skins are gonna be a thing, which yeah, that's the monker. But it's fun. It's fun. You got to go through a very weird system because right now I'm in the closed beta for it. You got to download like 2 random pieces of software, and it's like, bro, this might be malware. I'm like, hope it's not. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it just off the rip if you're not interested in ARPGs on a mobile. But if you are, maybe give it a go. It's pretty fun. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing at the moment. It's just summary Pokemon. Just Pokemon.
Nice. I like it.
What about you, Chief? What about you?
I've been playing a good mix of things actually, which is pretty rare for me. Usually
that is
like,
rare for you.
Usually it's like a one and done game scenario, but at the moment I've been playing most recently Spider-Man Miles Morales. So got that one as a pickup in the Black Friday sales, and just gotten around to sort of playing that now.
On the PS4?
On the PS4, yeah.
You pleb.
Yeah, I know. Big sad. But like, to say, I think like I put in, no joke, like 2 evenings. So like this is sort of after work, before my girlfriend and I sit down to watch something for the evening. So I'll play in that time period, and I'm already like 40% through the game. So I'm talking like 4 or 5 hours into it, and I'm like 40%. So
I did hear it was very short.
It's quick. And like looking at the trophy list for this one, it's pretty simple, but one of the trophies is to complete it in New Game Plus. Which is like, given the amount of time that it's taken me actually like actively going around and grabbing collectibles and stuff like that, it's really quick. Like right off the rip, you do 2 missions, you work out who the main villain is, like straight up. And then it
Yeah,
unlocks all
sick.
like it unlocks all the fast travel like subway locations that in the original Spider-Man game took like a while to unlock. And then they're like, oh hey, here's all the collectibles on the map. So it just straight up opens everything. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll just go one to another, like around the map on my way to the next mission. So you clear out so much so quick, and you need to pardon me, you need to collect most of that stuff to get the trophies in New Game Plus. Otherwise, they don't like they don't carry over. So
Yeah, Jesus.
yeah. So you gotta just try and get as much as you can, but. Yeah, enjoying it. It's fun. I was saying to Ina before the podcast started that the soundtrack for it is actually pretty good. Like, it's got a well-known catalog of music behind it with like some Kid Cudi. It's got some Jaden.
Does it have Sunflower by Post Malone?
I actually haven't heard it in the game yet, so
This is sacrilege. I want my refund.
TBC. We'll update on the next podcast.
Okay, yeah, let us know if Sunflower by Post Malone's on it, dude.
Also been playing a little bit of Lego Harry Potter. So I've been playing this one with
Pog.
So I played this one with my girlfriend. She's a Harry Potter fan. I'm like just a gaming fan, so I was like, this is a cool little bridge for us that we can just like sit down, chuck
I'm
an
just
hour or
like
two.
a gaming fan. And she like just a Harry Potter fan. Wow, that's beautiful. That's poetry. I'm very happy for you. I'm happy that a gaming fan and a Harry Potter fan can just firm handshakes all around.
Oh,
It's very good.
oh, not the case for Hogwarts Legacy, but yeah, literally, like
Yeah.
we played like the story missions, and I went around like did all the collectibles afterwards, and she was like, "Oh, wow, you unlocked so many more people than you don't get in the story," and I was like, "Yeah, literally." Like, it's so dumb. Spoilers, but at the end of year 1 to 4, you get Voldemort as the last character after the game's over. It's like,
But just like in the movies.
and it's like, I don't want, like, I've unlocked him, but now I'm just gonna uninstall the game. So it's like, he has no purpose to me anymore.
What do you mean, New Game Plus?
Nah, you don't get that. No, that doesn't
Yeah, you
exist
go
in
back
Lego.
you go back in and you play through the levels as Voldemort.
Literally. So that was pretty fun. Easy little game for us to just sit down and chuck like an hour into. I enjoy it. Been playing a little bit of Gang Beasts as well.
Ah, classic.
A classic Rumbler type game.
Yeah.
Um,
Rumble type game. It's like a Strand type game, but more of a Rumble instead.
it's a new genre. It's genre defining.
Rumble. Does that mean like Super Smash Bros is a bit of a Rumbler too?
Totally.
Very good.
Similar
I like this
definition.
genre.
And then like a couple of little indie games. So one of them was Suicide of Rachel Foster.
Monkus.
So that one's a pretty good game, like really good story behind it. It's pretty quick, but it sort of takes over like this sequence of a girl who's been left up in a cabin that was owned by, not a cabin, like a lodge that was owned by her father, and there was a lot of like mysterious things that went on there. Not scary in any sense, but it's
Is it meant to be more of a thriller?
yeah, kind of. Yeah, so she's like the only person in the lodge sort of thing. So it's like
Right.
they like walk around, click an object. Sort of like a Myst type game.
Ah, right. Understood.
But
Gotcha.
really good. Another one was A Day Without Me. Fucking what a weird game, to be fair. I played through that game and I don't know what it was about. So I get mad,
Cool.
like,
Let me look this up. A Day Without Me.
so yeah, it's really weird. But you start off by making a Pentecost in the first like 5 seconds of the game. And
Oh yeah, I see that.
and your shit goes downhill real quick. In saying that, this game is only really quick. It's only like half hour, an hour.
Oh.
But yeah, it like he runs like his little legs. I don't know how to describe it, but he's very top heavy.
What the fuck? Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He is a little top heavy. It's just a funny way to put it, but yeah, I guess that's a way that you can put it.
So that's how he runs around the map, but it's fun. Like, I enjoyed
Yeah.
that. Pretty creepy with like some of the scenes in it. Yeah, interesting. And that's about it in terms of like what I've been playing recently.
Hell yeah.
So I guess we'll jump into some more gaming news.
Oh baby, this is gonna be my favorite news section of the week. By the way,
this
is now a permanent segment.
This is an unnamed segment, but
no, this is this has a name. It's called NFT bullshit section of the show. That's the segment name, and it's full entirety. That's what we're calling it. Hello, everyone in the podcast. Welcome to NFT bullshit section of the show, where we talk about the bullshit NFTs in gaming.
We got some good.
And
we got some good
holy
ones here.
Fuck, man! Like, God, they just couldn't help themselves. Okay, let's start with the like less funny one first, and we'll end on the funnier one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Square Enix, we love them. They make good video games.
Kingdom Hearts.
Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. Near.
Final Fantasy.
Near. Final Fantasy. Avengers. Okay, so the Square Enix president basically made a statement that was rather long, and he was just like an esoteric way of basically him saying, fuck you, we're going to put NFTs in our video games, and basically you're going to have to deal with it. And essentially that boiled down to the fact where he said players don't really want to play for fun anymore. They want to play to earn. He's saying that the playing for fun model is dying, basically, which is possibly the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And then he then has the like audacity to basically state that players, he already knows this. He's saying players will hate this, but they'll get used to it, and then uses the reference of loot boxes and microtransactions and how we got used to those. That's what he's stating, that NFTs will be hated at first, and then we'll just accept them, and they'll just be part of our game, and it's a collaboration. I don't know why this shit keeps coming up. People are like, it's a collaboration. It's fuck off. It's not.
Why is it a collab when Square
It's a
Enix
collab
does
because
it?
we give you money, and then you put my name in your game because I gave you $14,000. And it's like, bruh, it's like, it's not collaboration. Like they'll be able to make their own things and their tokens and bullshit, and it's like, bro, no. And then there's just also the general misunderstanding. I don't know if you saw this one too, but the guy from fucking Linkin Park who was like, wait, you guys don't like the idea of, being able to buy a skin in Call of Duty, then using it in Battlefield? And then it's like, bro, I don't think you understand how NFTs work. This guy's like, yeah, man, you'll be able to take your Call of Duty skin into fucking SpongeBob SquarePants, bro. Like, doesn't that sound cool to you? And it's like, bro, I think your idea of NFTs and just reality in general are just incredibly fucked. It's like, what are you even saying? That was truly a funny thing, because all I could do was laugh at it because he doesn't get it. But it's...
I feel like that's the case with so many people at the moment. Like, they have no idea what NFTs are, what crypto is, what the metaverse is. People keep going, oh yeah, there's so many metaverses. No, there's fucking one. There's one metaverse. There's not multiple. This isn't
What
like...
do you mean? Oh, dude, you know what? You and me will go into business. We'll call it the multiverse. Okay? And we'll just make a bunch of universes in that universe, okay? And we just sell property in them. We just sell real estate. That's what we do.
Literally watched a video on that this afternoon where, literally, shit you not, there's an estate agent in the multiverse, fucking metaverse,
Yeah, of course.
who sold a $43 million property over the weekend.
No, actually. Oh, God. All right. Anyway, Square Enix president fuckhead. We hate him, don't like him.
Mm.
Hopefully, I don't know. If people know Yoshi P, okay, he's the game director of Final Fantasy 14 MMO. If somehow he could just usurp the current like president, I don't know how, like a trial by combat or something, or like I don't know, like or just like person with the higher IQ. I think Square Enix could be saved. But with shit like that, that just makes me not want to buy Square Enix shit.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to contribute to a model that fucking has environmentally destroying fucking shit in it.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just dodge.
It's definitely moving that way. Like, it's sad, but I don't like the statement of playing games for fun is dying and getting old.
Yeah,
like,
earn. You don't want to earn, bro.
like,
You don't want to earn.
like, I get it. There's kids out there who are going to be like, yeah, fucking want to make 10 cents in crypto for 20 hours of game time. Like, bruh, get a job at Mickey D's if you want some cash on the side. Don't play to earn and fry your CPU. Like, Jesus. Like, yeah, I don't know. But playing games for fun is always going to be something that's around. Like, you know, you got kids in the street who kick a ball, and you know, now it's gone on to different like handheld devices and whatever. But it's always going to be there.
But by the way, I feel I should just say, like, I don't know if anybody in this like happens across this podcast on the internet and you're into NFTs or whatever, that's fine, bro. That, like, sure, you can have your opinion. You can be like, oh, bro, you're just gonna be left behind. I don't care. Even if for some reason it does take off, I couldn't give a fuck because it's the stupidest thing ever. I think NFTs are just, well, they're absolutely a scam. First of all, NFTs are a what do you call them? A solution to nothing that's a problem. They want to be the solution to a problem, but there is no problem.
Yeah.
Like, that is their sole purpose to exist. It's just peddling bullshit that isn't real, and it's fucked.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and the price for entry on some of these NFTs is nutty. Like, next level nutty. Like, you look at it, and they go, "Oh, it's 0.1 Ethereum," and you're like, "Wow, that actually seems pretty cheap." But
Holy
it's like this,
shit!
It's just like, yeah, you look at it and you go, "Oh wait, 0.1 Ethereum is $400." It's like,
Yep.
I'm dropping $400 on a piece of digital art, like there's 10,000 of.
It's also just like, it's about, like, NFTs they're like, it's about ownership. It's about ownership of copyright. Like, you bought it, you know, and like the transactions, you get the extra money from like it being used through multiple transactions. You're paid forever or whatever. It's like, bro, like, people have had their NFT stolen. Like,
That's it.
like yeah, like, for real, like, their NFTs get stolen, and then it's like no longer yours because the copyright of it just got stolen from you off like your hard drives and shit.
Sorry, blockchain.
It's no longer yours. It's like Lamau. Like, it is the biggest fucking joke of all time. It's such a stupid piece of fucking software, and I hate it with a passion. Anyway, let's wrap up this with just the most chef's kiss NFT gaming bullshit of the week.
This is a good one.
This award's handed out to voice actor, C-list celebrity Troy Baker.
Hey, C-list.
He's absolutely C-list after this fucking move. I couldn't care less. Had some respect for him, and then good fucking lord, bro. Okay, so this is a direct quote from Troy's Twitter. Oh, by the way, sorry. Troy Baker plays Joel in The Walking Dead. He plays the dude in Death Stranding that has the golden mask. He plays pretty much every character in every video game ever. You've definitely heard this guy's voice. So this is the tweet verbatim. He says, "I'm partnering with Voiceverse NFT to explore ways where we together, we might bring new tools." I love how it says might. We might bring new tools to new creators to make new things and allow everyone a chance to own and invest in their IPs they create. We all have a story to tell. You can hate or you can create. What'll it be? Followed up by a fucking like NFT image of him. like dead ass, like a stupid fucking like NFT picture. Anyway, holy shit. So, okay, basically what Troy is trying to say here is, like, I've listened to a podcast that he's on with like Alana Pierce and sorry, I'm blanking on the other two people name, but it's basically like a game dev, like voice actor kind of podcast. And I've listened to that show for ages. And if you know Troy, when he says you can hate or you can create, he actually, it's just in his weird sense of humor. But when you read this as like an average Joe off the street, like you're like, bro, did you just tell me to go fuck myself? Because that's exactly what it sounds like. Like, it's not good. But also, the company who he's doing this with, VoiceVerse NFT. So basically, these voice actors, they do voice packs. And then you're meant to be able to take that voice pack and then manipulate it so that they can say whatever you want. So someone could literally get Troy Baker to say the N-word. Like dead ass. Like that's kind of the idea, is that you can use these popular voice actors to fill out your game with voice acting instead of having to like hire people and whatever. So he's already cutting himself out of his own job.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Not only that, this VoiceVerse NFT has already stolen shit from people, like legitimately, like already stolen work from other people, and they've like publicly apologized for it. And it's like, Jesus, like what are we, like Troy, like what are we doing here? This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It's such a fucking awful move. God. And then it's, yeah, man, it's just fucking awful. Like, and also just, I can't believe he would cut himself out of his own job by cutting himself out with himself.
I'm pretty sure he's been an advocate for, like, voice actors too.
No, he has. But the funny thing is, I think his name's Mike Bithell, actually. He made Thomas Was Alone. Yeah. He's a guy, yeah, he was a guy on the podcast as well. And he literally, on the podcast, Troy said, he's like, look, I know you love this stuff and I know that you just want to help people. He's like, I can legitimately put you in contact with people who are doing the same thing, just without the destroying the environment bullshit. And he's just like, It's just like, dude, like, what? Ask around the industry first. Like, what? And like on the podcast, he says, oh, it's not about the money. And it's like, what? Bro, it must absolutely be about the money.
Everyone who does anything does it for money.
Yeah, it's just like, I just want to help people. And it's like, that's probably true. Because like, yeah, I get it. Like, solo indie devs can't really afford voice acting, probably, right? So in that sense, kind of cool tech. But also, bro, bro, you could just like do the work for free. It's kind of the same thing in a way.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's NFT bullshit section of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I was your host, Ina. I will see you in the next podcast for more NFT and gaming bullshit. Thank you.
Love that. Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, actually absurd.
Yeah, I mean, like, to add to that, if you have like that can be so dangerous too, with the voice pairing with even like a deep fake. And it's like, you get good enough deep fakes and you're like, whoa, this is actually good enough to actually think it is someone. Like, I remember the Key and Peele, Jordan Peele video that he did with Barack Obama, like imitating his voice, and he was like, I'll order nuclear strikes on this person. And it's like, sounds close enough to be a thing. Like, it sounds close enough to be real, but
yeah. Anyway, back to good gaming stuff potentially.
Yeah, back to some other positive gaming news. We'll start off with Hitman Year 2's new content. The trilogy is coming to Game Pass.
Huge.
So,
massive.
You know, we thought we'd start off with the biggest news piece of the week.
Yeah, this is definitely the biggest news peak. We're not going to talk about anything that happened in the last 24 hours. So if you're looking for that, that's next week's podcast. Milking it out. Yeah, no, huge get. Massive. And it's also coming to Steam. And full VR support for all 3 games as well. Also going to be available with the Steam version. Crazy.
Mm.
Crazy. It's nuts that that game came out only last year.
Yeah. Far out.
Very, very crazy. I definitely want to play more of it, to be honest. I just feel like I need to do like a full playthrough of every level and just dick around in it. Like the times I have played it, it's been so much fun. I just need to go back to it.
Hmm.
It's very good.
Very good. Yeah, Game Pass continues to evolve and will further, as we'll sort of speak to in the next little bit.
Yeah.
And some other pretty prevalent releases include Death's Door, the Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster, obviously the aforementioned Hitman Trilogy, and Rainbow Six Extraction. So,
Yeah.
all
So
pretty big titles.
massive. So like there was obviously more with it, but those were the big ones that I pulled off it. Death's Door looks amazing. I have yet to play it, but it keeps staring me in the face because I'd love to be a little bird that runs around with a sword. So that sounds awesome. Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster, like holy shit. That's huge. Like all 3 games with all their content for the low price of $10 a month. Like that's so much game. Think about how much game that is. That's crazy. Like, well, like 2 trilogies on there, like Hitman and Mass Effect. There's so much time. Like Mass Effect, like is replayable, but it'd take you a long time. Hitman's like the most replayable game of all time. So crazy. And then also Ubisoft's new Rainbow Six game, Extraction, which is like it was like a Halloween game mode that they were like, oh, let's make this into a full game type deal. So that's day 1 to Game Pass. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So good month for Game Pass. Incredible
really good
month
for Game Pass. Really good month.
Exactly.
Yeah, and still, do you reckon they're going to up their prices soon? Surely they have to.
I mean, it depends. I think Philly boy. I think Uncle Phil, Big Boy Phil, our boy Phil. We love Phil. We love Phil. I think he honestly is playing the long con. I think they're gonna leave it.
Yeah, reckon
honestly,
they're gonna do a Netflix?
No, I don't think so. I think that price point is going to be too good to refuse for a particular reason we're obviously going to talk down below. And I'll go into it a bit more there when we get to that news. But I'll talk about it later. Put it that way. I'll talk about it later.
All right. That sounds good. Speaking about Game Pass and sort of more games coming to the PC, we've got God of War finally releasing on PC and to critical acclaim.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think that sort of is a massive surprise to anyone, but it is.
Well,
really
I think in the sense that the first couple of games Sony released on PC were a little bit shaky in their performance.
Yeah,
like crashes and like weird glitches and stuff like that. Whereas apparently God of War is like pretty squeaky clean. Besides like one error, like a very low number of people are getting to do with their I think their card saying it's out of like video memory or their RAM saying it's out of memory. But that's like a very low number, and so basically the game just came out with all these extra features and is like the most ideal way to play God of War now. Insane. I can't believe this came into PC.
Yeah.
Like at all, to be honest. Like, would you have expected Sony to move this to PC? I could have thought of many other games before this one, for sure.
I mean, I think Sony is starting to move more of their games to PC, like slowly but surely. Like, obviously they'll have that exclusivity period on PlayStation first, sort of like Horizon did. And I think
but do you think that's going to change when they bring out this new competitor to Game Pass that they've been talking about? This new 3-tiered like Game Pass equivalent. Do you think that'll change?
Potentially. I know I was reading a interview not long ago about like how Sony developers had wanted to bring their games to PC for a while. I was trying to look for the article just now, but I couldn't for the life of me find it. I know it was tied in with the God of War news. But yeah, I think it's good to see I guess those games coming to PC. Obviously, like it shows off their full technical ability, whereas like a console is pretty limited in what it can do. Even if you do add on like extra SSDs or whatever. Yeah, I think it's super cool to see these games coming to PC. Obviously, after they've had like their period of time of exclusivity.
Yeah, for sure.
And like God of War, obviously now being like Sony's biggest and highest rated Steam launches, it says a lot. Like previously, they'd done what Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone. Like I think out of the two of those, like Days Gone, really really good game, but just didn't get like the love that it needed from marketing and press, which sort of let it down. Which is why you'd hear Days Gone and be like, oh, I remember hearing about that game with all the zombies at like E3 5 years back, and nothing since. And then you've got Horizon Zero Dawn, which obviously is like one of the bigger titles of Sony. So, yeah, crazy.
Just gotta wait for that Bloodborne. Am I right?
Yeah, literally. And like the game had 75k peak of concurrent players. Which is
yes, which is really good. Yeah.
And then Horizons was 56, Days Gone 27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's hard to compete.
Yeah. I mean, I think as well, God of War is one of those titles that just sort of supersedes the platform that it's on. Like it's a well-known character outside of everything else as well. So be interesting to see how the like PlayStation Game Pass goes as well. We'll see. We'll see.
And then also speaking of the Final Fantasy, speaking of Yoshi P suffering from success, so Final Fantasy 14 is about to be put back on sale. After it was too successful that they had to stop selling it. So basically the story here was, Endwalker comes out. I think that's what it's called. Pretty sure it's Endwalker. Endwalker comes out. The servers go, yep, we're fucking full. And then, queue times were absurd. Like, just disgustingly long. Yoshi P made the call to literally take away the free trial and to stop selling the game in general, so that they could alleviate the stress from their servers, because they literally cannot buy any more at the current moment. So that's hilarious. But the numbers must be finally coming back down to a bit of reality again for them to be reselling it too. But I think that's just such an alpha Chad move to be like, we are so successful. We're going to actually stop selling our video game.
That's insane.
But it's also the right move, if you know what I mean. Like they could have, like Yoshi P and like Square Enix could have just kept selling it, and no one could have gotten in, right? But they made the active choice to stop selling it and do good by their customers to drop queue times, which I think it's definitely a Yoshi P move. It sure isn't the president of fucking Square Enix, that's for sure.
Interesting. Yeah, I was looking at the news for it. It says the Final Fantasy XIV Homeworld Transfer Service, which is currently suspended due to congestion, will resume at basically like January 25, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's fine.
Exactly.
That's insane.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. That game is crazy popular. I guess it's what happens when WoW sucks.
Yeah. Literally.
All the refugees need somewhere to go. Oh god.
Home.
Yeah, the WoW refugees, they needed a home. Oh
so
god.
Good. Love it. In more breaking news, Valve are starting to send out their Steam Decks in February. Have you pre-ordered one of these, or?
You couldn't. In Australia, you couldn't pre-order.
Oh.
Yep. Nope. Gaben, even though he like pretty much lives in New Zealand now, was like, nah. Nah. Sorry. So to pre-order in Australia, what you had to do was you had to put a VPN on. You had to go to the Steam site. You had to pre-order it. Then you had to have it sent to someone you knew in the States, or send it to a company that takes in pre-orders and stuff from international, and then send it out to you.
Interesting.
Yeah, but man, it is very intriguing because, good lord, I love the Switch, but that thing launched literally 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's pretty weak. And the idea of actually playing Witcher at 60 FPS in my hands boggles my mind.
Which one do you reckon you'd need for that? The 64 gig, the eMMC, or one of the NVMe SSD ones?
I mean, to fit Witcher's probably like 30 gigs, 50 maybe. I forget how big it is now. It's somewhere between 30 to 50, I'm pretty sure. Because it fits on a Switch cartridge and then a little update, so it must be around 36 probably. So pretty much all your storage is abolished then. So all the hardware is pretty much the same on the inside, besides the higher end model having obviously the bigger SSD, and then the glass, I believe, is different. But I believe the internals are the same on all of them except storage. So even the base one would play, Witcher at 60 FPS in your hands. And man, it's just such a sick premise. It's so cool to see like a handheld released that is actually powerful. It's like the equivalent of when the PSP came out, like Nintendo released their DS, and even when that thing launched, obviously it was very underpowered. And then the PSP came along and it was like, yeah, bro, you can play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on this bitch. And you're like, what?
Literally.
It's crazy.
Game changer.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, I'd love to get my hands on one, for real. But impossible, man. Impossible.
Yeah. They don't have a time frame for us yet, do they?
No, we'll never get them. It'll be like the indexes. You never get those unless you order them in from the States.
Yeah. Damn, that's a shame.
Damn, it is. It is.
Oh well, it's okay. I mean, it'll be cool to see once people have their hands on with this tech and see what it's like after. Yeah, people putting it to the test. I guess
people are going to do some crazy shit with it. I can't wait to see the overclocking videos. The first video that's going to go up is going to be I water cooled my my Steam Deck and it can play Cyberpunk at 100 frames a second.
Literally.
There'll be some dumb shit for sure.
I'm very keen to see that. Very keen.
Speaking of stupidly awesome shit though, GDQ has come and gone. And they raised $3.5 million for charity by going fast. Man, I don't know about you, Mr. Zia, but holy shit, dude, speedrunning is just the most fun event and community to be a part of. Man, there were some amazing speedruns that I watched this year. Funnily enough, Deathloop is actually a very fun game to watch speedrun because it's quite short. What else did I watch this year? I watched Dark Souls Classic. And then Ratchet 1, New Game Plus, the original one from the PS2. Very good. Very good. And Rift Apart, they also did as well. And it was really cool to see that game speedrun as well. So, yeah, so many good ones. So many great games. Yeah, GDQ and AGDQ are always great, great events. So if any viewers, in general who have been curious about speedrunning, or an event like that, GDQ's most definitely probably played your favorite game of all time and broken the living Christ out of it. So I would definitely recommend watching some of their stuff. All the VODs are up on their YouTube now. But it's just so cool, man. It's so cool that like gaming can have such a positive effect like this. Like just a bunch of people coming together, going real fast, raising a lot of money. It's so sick.
It's really fun to watch. Like even just like in the background, seeing people do their like little speed hacks or game breaking bugs or whatever. Because especially with the older games, like they were never patched out like they are today. So it's really really sick. Just to chuck that on the background.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would know as myself as the 36th fastest glitchless New Vegas speedrunner in the world. No, no, mean to humble brag, but yeah. How crazy!
Love that.
I actually watched the New Vegas speedrun this year. They did 40. The speedrun category was 42 unique weapon speedrun. It was sweet. I'm like, I watched it. I'm like, dude, I might have to learn this. It looked like so much fun. And it honestly was not that much longer than just like the normal glitchless, to be honest. So might be on the horizon. Be very cool.
Apparently, it's the highest all-time record in donations for charity from GDQ.
Yes. So, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So cool, man.
And apparently, according to a Reddit post, the new record also means that GDQ has now raised over $34 million US for charities across the globe since it began in 2010. So, tremendous effort from all the participants and viewers and donators, because, yeah, that's pretty sick.
That's a pog bones moment, dude.
Legendary. That's a huge win. Love to see it.
You'll love to see it.
Next piece of news that we've got on the list is that Stalker 2 has been delayed until December.
It's a hell of a move, hey? Because when was this? This was meant to come out in like March, right?
Let's have a look.
Pretty sure it's March or April. It was meant to be in the literal front half of the year, which moving to December is worrying. Like that's
a late push.
That's a big jump. That's a large jump.
Also, like one of the reasons that they're saying it's been pushed back is the studio's choice late last year to try introducing, you guessed it, NFTs into the game, which could possibly have an impact on that.
I'll bring that up on the next podcast for this game. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm NFT'd out. I'll talk about it next podcast.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah. So the original release date I can't find because now it's just showing the updated release date of December 8th, 2022. So
Stalker 2 delay. It's probably going to give it to us.
It was announced in August 2010, so it's originally set for April
28th. Yeah. There we go. Crazy.
So
NFT now means not for today. True. Very true and factual. But yeah, crazy. April 28th. Man, that's a hell of a bump. I mean, do be kind of scary. Like it's quite a jump.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I feel like, you know, Cyberpunk was a pretty good cautionary tale. Like, you know, if you need more time, don't just like try and get it out in the holiday window. Like, let it go as long as it needs to. Because I mean, Stalker is a really cool franchise. It was extremely niche and a very cult hit, but I feel like this could make it quite like large, big time moves. With how much sort of hype is behind it. But yeah. Yeah, the delay is a bit worrying because it's not like it's 1 month or 2 months. It's like legitimately to the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big push.
It is a large one.
I mean, and on that topic, it will no longer have NFTs either after the backlash. So Insert Charlie meme here. Yeah, like it's interesting that they said that the NFTs could have been a cause for the pushback, but the fact that they'll no longer have it after who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? We don't know. We
don't.
We wish. Anyway, talking about big moves, in the
Big,
industry.
big shmoney.
We've
We're
got,
about to get into big shmoney territory.
yeah, massive money territory. So basically, the first one that we'll talk about is 2K buying Zynga. So now this is sort of like a weird one because you guys are like, the fuck? Why are they buying up Farmville? Like they in debt to
It's
the
a bold
Farmville.
strategy, Colton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, literally. I reckon they've just like put one of their CEOs has put too much money into like Farmville, and they're like, time.
What's his name? Something Strelznik or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just like he's a big avid player of Farmville and he just wants to own it now.
literally. Like, and it's a hefty deal. It's $12.7 billion.
Jesus Christ.
So, like, there's a couple of things that have been sort of like thrown around here with, like, obviously Zynga doing majority mobile games.
Yes, that's
so-
fair. Browser and mobile.
Yeah, so I think the way that it's been looked at is that Take-Two is wanting to expand their sort of mobile game market. Obviously, like Grand Theft Auto, I think, has got a couple of mobile iterations.
I believe all of
NBA.
the old gen ones are on mobile.
Yeah,
San Andreas 3 is Vice City, I believe, also is. Because that trash port, the definitive edition for the GTA trilogy, was actually the mobile ports ported over to console
yeah,
because they found the UI from the mobile when they like took apart the game, like when
no.
like smart people far smarter than us took apart the game and looked at it. They're like, wait a minute, why is there iOS interface under this? Why is it hidden? So the ports to the mobile got ported back to console. So they're
yeah.
technically 2 ports deep.
Now,
So yes.
yeah, so I think they could be a good play there. And I'll make it be known that for I think 9 days they held this record. This was the biggest acquisition in video game history.
Yep.
So obviously we've just had one that's superseded that massively. But yeah, pretty crazy. And it'll be interesting to see what sort of Take-Two now do in the mobile market. Who knows? Maybe we'll have Grand Theft Auto Words with Friends.
Oh hell yeah! Grand Theft Auto Weedville. Wait, Weed Farmville. Let's go.
Let's go. Hefty. Yeah. So cool to see what'll happen there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also in opposite news, Microsoft for a while, it just kind of like came into like big headlines that Microsoft is no longer making Xbox One consoles, so the former gen that's gone past, whereas Sony is ramping up PS4 production. So I think this is smart by Microsoft for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Xbox One generation was just cursed. It's just a cursed generation from the start. It got off to the worst start imaginable. You know, like as you know, you got to buy it with a Kinect. It's always going to be online. DRM is built in. You're here to watch sports. Like this is the conditions they launched in. Crazy. So I think for Microsoft this makes sense because they don't want to live in the Xbox One era anymore. Uncle Phil, he's like, we're done with this shit, bro. He's like, I built with my bare hands this Xbox Series S and this Xbox Series X, and you kids are gonna like it. And they're like, and we're like, okay, Phil, I understand. That's fair. The Xbox One is garbage. No, not a worry. And he's just like, good. We're just gonna keep making the new ones. And it's like, cool. That's fine with us, Phil. Not a worry. Meanwhile, on the Sony front, everyone's like, yo, what the fuck? I can't even get a PS4 to play these PlayStation games. And Sony's like, yep, we hear you loud and clear. We're going to boot back up the factory and get them PS4s going.
Yeah, literally.
Which But this makes more sense for Sony because they have so many more users and they are going to be still supporting some of these games that, you know, they said at launch that they weren't. Like, you know, Miles Morales, they were like, no, we're in this next generation, we're just sticking to new gen. And then they were like, wait a minute, we have sold like 110 million PlayStation 4s. Psych, we take it all back. We take it all back. We're gonna keep selling you video games for our huge user base, which makes sense.
Literally. And like,
what are your thoughts on this?
Obviously, like the chipset shortage is playing into this massively. So like it makes sense for. I mean, I kind of get it, and I kind of don't. Like, yeah,
I know exactly what you mean.
Microsoft's move, I get it. Yeah, it was a dark period for them with the Xbox, with the Xbox One, and like wanting to move past that into the Series S and Series X. I get it. I'm just waiting for the Series E to come out. Like, joking. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, they've got this great tech, and they're wanting to take advantage of it and utilize it the best as possible. Whereas, like, I mean, the very, very core difference here is you can get a Series S and a Series X off the shelf at the store today.
No, not true. I work in that store, but you cannot.
Really? You can get them at my local.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Holy shit, bro, that's crazy. No, man, Queensland's out, bro. We've got none.
Literally, I was like...
For everyone listening in on the podcast, so I work at like a, I guess like a tech store, yeah. And like I was like a game salesman for like a long time, and then now I've moved out the back and stuff, dealing with inventory and stuff. We have no stock, and it's just like anytime we get a shipment, we have like a list of people, we call them, they come get it, they leave, they're gone instantly. So the fact that you can walk into your local, that's crazy. Like Series S, I could understand. Series X, I don't know how that's possible.
Dead set. We walk in the other day, my girlfriend was like, you want this one? And I said, no, that's not a PS5. Incorrect.
Dude, honestly, you should cop one anyway.
I was like, so you see how you can get these ones on the shelf? I was like, you see how you can get these ones on the shelves? I was like, that's the problem right now. And like, my girlfriend obviously has no idea about like the chipset shortage around the world or anything. So she's like, okay, I just don't get it that your toy isn't on the shelf. Like...
Yeah. Gotcha. But also, you know what's another good... The thing that I just thought of, actually, why Microsoft is allowed to do this. Cloud gaming. You can play Xbox games on your phone. I've done it. I've had Game Pass Ultimate, and I've played Fallout New Vegas on my phone before bed. But also, you can use cloud on Xbox One now. So for those people who are still waiting for their new consoles, they don't have to sacrifice performance when they can literally just play it off the Xbox they already own, which is a huge advantage, right? Whereas PlayStation doesn't have that. They literally can't afford to do that. So, which makes sense why they're still producing them, because it's like, wait, hold up a second. We don't have this sick, like, cloud infrastructure that we can have our PS5 games play on a PS4 via streaming. So that also makes a lot of sense why both of them are going in this direction.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. Very sad.
So speaking of Game Pass too.
Yeah, speaking of Game Pass. So Game Pass now has 25 million active subscribers, which is pretty nutty. I mean, we've been for months talking about and touting how good Xbox Game Pass is with the value that you get out of it, you know, with the like full EA library. You get all of, obviously, Microsoft, Xbox, their first party exclusives. And now you're going to be able to get something else. But yeah, I mean, They're really
I
smart
mean-
with the way that they do this too, like their marketing of it. You know, I'm with in Australia. One of the major telcos is Telstra, and they were like, "Hey, you're a Telstra member. We'll give you 3 months of Game Pass for free." I was like, "Oh, nifty." Even if you've been a pre-existing subscriber to Game Pass, yes, even if you've been pre-existing. And I was like, "Thank you. I will take that. That's great."
Yeah.
Mm.
Dude, have you done the quick math on this for how much money that is?
At $15.95 a month, that's a lot of money.
I mean, I even just did 10 because you can, like, that's the lowest rate you can pay for it because that's like just literally the PC pass. So literally 10 times 25 million. What is that? Is that 2.5 billion? Wait, 25 billion? What is that? I'm bad at math.
So you kind of cool. Wait, 25 mil? So 25.
Literally 25 times 10 is as the lowest denominator.
Yeah, so that'd be like 250 milli.
250 milli? Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like, if you think about it, like year on year, and that number's just growing, it's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And that is assuming us as low as possible,
At
right?
$15.95, it's close to 400.
Crazy. Crazy money, right? And they're gonna need that crazy money for the next story.
That's
too.
it. So they've been stocking up their Game Pass cash for the past couple of months. Phil
Yeah.
Spencer's little piggy bank, and he's cracked it open today on buying Activision and Blizzard, which...
Wait, hold on. Pause you right there. I just realized that's per month.
Yeah, oh yes, that's per month. 400 million a
Holy
month.
shit.
So that's like... That's a 4.7 bill.
That's a lot of shmoney.
There's a lot of money.
That's-
Why don't we got one of these businesses?
Yeah, I don't know. Man, okay, yeah. Anyway, sorry, back to the big news of the week.
Yeah, so back to the big news of the week. Basically, Philly's cracked open this piggy bank of money, and he said he'd rock up to his disgruntled employees and he'd say, "I'll drop you 80 wait, 70?
67.
67.8 billy, and I'll make you happy. I'll make your employees happy too." And they're like, "Fucking take it. We got too many things on our hands at the moment with disgruntled employees and allegations and whatever." So they're like, "Well, here we go. We'll give you the bag, and Bobby Kotick, we'll get you out of here. We'll give you fat paycheck. You're the highest paid, one of the highest paid CEOs in America. We're going to give you fat paycheck to walk." Like,
Man, God, he didn't deserve a golden parachute, but of course he got one.
yeah.
$276 million for his payout.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Ridiculous.
That guy doesn't deserve shit,
No,
dude.
for the way
He's the
the-
scum of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is astronomical. Just straight up. Like $67.8 billion? That's fucking mental.
Yeah.
Um,
Billion
that's
with a B.
it's a lot of shmoney. But if you think about it, holy shit. The catalog that just got purchased for Xbox is utterly insane. I mean, just like let's slowly go through this, right? We'll start with Blizzard. Just the fact you get Blizzard, right? So boom, fucking Diablo 4. Straight up. You can't pre-order it or anything, right? Pretty sure. Which means they can not have to sell it on PlayStation. That could be a potential exclusive. Crazy, right? Game Pass, day one, it'll be there. Next up, Overwatch 2. Same thing. Like, but that one will still go to PlayStation because you can still use Overwatch 1 and 2 in tandem with each other. So that won't be exclusive, but still huge. It'll still be on Game Pass. For sure. Game Pass day one. Another one. StarCraft obviously that's going to go to Game Pass, right? And barely anyone plays it. Sure, it'll go to Game Pass. This is the one that I'm racking my brain. How is WoW going to work?
I reckon WoW's going to be in the realm of, like, it's still going to function as it always has. Like, because Big Boy Philly's tweet was that, and as it has been with other, like, previous acquisitions like Bethesda, is that they're always, like, gamer first. Obviously, they'll have some, like, exclusive content and maybe, like, earlier releases, similar to what, like, Sony's done with their titles, like God of War, Days Gone, Horizon, that sort of thing. I still reckon that they're going to put out things where they can make money. Like, WoW is in itself just a money maker, so why would they limit any opportunity to make potential cash there? I don't see that happening. Like, you know, they've still got to pay for this deal. Like, obviously, like, they want to still make money at the end of the day. Like, they're not dropping close to $70 billion to be like, you know what, we're just going to stop running this game or stop, like, its availability for a certain audience because they're on a separate platform. Nah, I don't see that as being the play here. I'm like, I mean,
I'm calling Sussy Bucker on that one.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, well, obviously WoW's not coming to fucking PlayStation, but, like, if you don't, like, I understand what you're saying, right? It makes sense to sell games to the most amount of people to make the most money, but you also just spent $67.8 billion. You don't want to share that with another platform. You want to sell as many subscriptions and or boxes you can for your company. Why would you give PlayStation Diablo 4? Why? You just spent $67.8 billion. To me, that's the part that doesn't make sense. Like, I get it in terms of, yeah, you'd probably make more by selling it to a bigger range of audience, but you might also, like, sneak that person who was going to, you know, like, grab it on PlayStation and goes, oh, well, you know, like, I've got a controller and a phone. Like, I guess I can, you know, just try it out for a month on, you know, on my phone. And then you just stay from your phone and then you go, oh, maybe I'll get a little Series S and then I can play it, you know, in my living room. And then you go to that. And that's how the snowball effect begins. Sorry, by the way, if you can hear the rain. Holy hell, it's loud as hell. But this I think is going to throw you way over the edge. I think that Call of Duty will be an Xbox exclusive, but Warzone will remain multi-platform. I know it's a little wilden, and I get it. Like, maybe the next 2 to 3 Call of Duties not exclusive to Xbox, but at some point, I think they might just pull a little exclusivity for Xbox. Thoughts?
I think it'll be like the way that it's been done with, like, the Sony partnership with Activision and Call of Duty for previous years, where it's been like, hey, you get the content like a week earlier than Xbox, and, like, I think the way that they'd play it would be, like, at the moment you can play comp Call of Duty on PC, you can play it on console, whatever's best. Obviously, every pro in their right mind would pick PC. I think they might shift back to console, like, to an Xbox format. Like, I see that's where they get the most value out of it, just having branding and sponsorships everywhere for it. Like, whether it's competitive scene, whether it's in-game, whether it's whatever, whether it's, I don't know, extra maps, extra discounts, whatever. Free, like, remasters even. I reckon that could be a potential play.
The value add.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, where they did the Modern Warfare remaster. Maybe it's MW2, which is the one everyone's been waiting for as a remaster that they chuck in. They're like, hey, Xbox players, you get MW2 remastered for free with Xbox Game Pass. Or if you buy it on Xbox. PlayStation, you get nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just
Because
so much money.
That's pretty
That's
big.
the thing that throws me, though.
Mm,
It's just that it's so much money, and you want to pull people into your ecosystem.
that's true.
Like, and is it crazy that they literally yoinked a previous like Sony IP and like Crash
Two of them. And
How-
Spyro.
and Spyro? What a wild timeline we live in.
Mm.
That Xbox is now the official rights, or will be the official rights holder of two previous Sony exclusive games. It's okay; those for sure are going to be exclusive.
You
for
reckon-
sure.
Do you reckon?
Oh,
there's, or do you reckon
absolutely.
they try to sell them back to Sony at a high price?
No way,
No.
not a chance in hell.
Hmm.
Those games are going to be console and PC exclusive only. They are never going to see the light of day on PlayStation.
Oh, big sad.
Because think about it, there's such nostalgia bait.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like Xbox opens up at E3 that doesn't exist this year.
Yes.
And they go, "Hi gamers, it's me, Uncle Phil." And we go, "Oh my god, Phil." He's like, "I've got good news, children. I've brought a new Crash game." And they go, "Oh." And he goes, "I've also brought a new Spyro game." And everyone's like, "Oh." And they're like, "Exclusive on Xbox." And all the Sony boys are like, "Oh shit, dude." Start running down to your local fucking EB Games. They buy all the shit off the shelves. It's no longer on the shelves anymore. This is the future. I can foresee it.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
like that'd be a big dick play, like where he just like flops one out, and he's just like, "Hey, we stole your IP, bitch."
I don't know if they stole it. They kind of bought it, but
I
yeah,
mean-
like yeah,
Well, like,
sure.
we got your IP, like just shake it, like dangle it like a carrot.
It is. Yeah, it is kind of the nuts for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it. Just the IP that they've gained is crazy. In my head,
Mm,
I love that you're the opposite of me, where you're like, it's going to be all multi-platform because that makes the most sense.
mm.
In my head, I'm just like, holy fuck, that's just an unfathomable amount of money. I couldn't believe I would, if that was me, I would never allow it on another console. Like ever. It's just so much money. Like it's crazy. But like I'm sure like Uncle Phil, he's a good guy. Like I'm sure that, you know, like companies like Call of Duty, I could understand it still being multi-platform for like quite a long time.
There was a movie made
But
about
there's just this part of me that just tells me that, hey bro, this isn't going to be forever. Like, I don't know. I just get this weird. Come back to this podcast in like 6 years and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll see where we are in like 6 years time with Call of Duty. But we're not even talking about the biggest game they bought, Candy Crush.
Mm.
The game generates
Wondering.
$1.1 billion just in a year.
Yeah, that's true. Like everyone sleeps on Candy Crush. You go, huh, Candy Crush. No one plays that game. And then you're like, no, wait, there are tons of people who play that game and chuck real life money into it.
And it keeps getting more and more in terms of profits year on year too.
Oh,
Like the year before it was like a bill. This year is 1.1 bill, or the end of last year was 1.1 bill.
Which is crazy.
Like, dude, if you think about it, if you just let that game go in like as it is right now, 60 years, they've already paid off their how much they paid.
Yeah, literally.
And that's like assuming that, you know, they're not going to make more money year on year, which they absolutely will.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Like, because like if you think about it, like 1.1, like I don't know, let's say, you know, in 5 years from now they'd be making, I don't know, like 4 bill, right, year on year. That game alone will literally pay off how much they paid for Activision in dead ass a decade.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it's like obviously one of the top grossing games on like iOS, Android, all like consistently, and it has been consistently top position for ages.
Years.
Yeah.
So long. Yeah. And then I mean also, yeah, you own Call of Duty.
Yeah. Call of Duty,
Imagine the microtransaction money from that.
they own like
Over
every
loot
big
boxes.
yeah,
Like,
dude, they own every big like online competitive game. They own StarCraft, they own Diablo, they own Overwatch, Hearthstone, WoW.
Man, I gotta start watching some of this competitive Diablo.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
That's it. Like,
Oh yeah, Hearthstone. What the fuck?
yeah.
Oh my god, they own Heart. Oh my god,
It's a
man.
part of Blizzard.
I'm only just realizing, and I already know this, but I'm like, oh yeah, Activision just makes games that print money because they're greedy fucks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh wait a minute, they just literally bought like money printers.
Yeah. Literally, like all of these games are just like opportunities for NFTs.
Oh fuck me. God,
And
I was
that's how they
watching.
make
I
their
was
money.
holy shit. I was watching like this like American like TV show interview where it was Bobby Kotick and Phil Spencer talking,
Uh-huh.
and holy shit, the amount of times Bobby brought up the metaverse made me want to punch my own face in, dude. Oh my god. Phil said it once because I think he felt bad for Bobby because Bobby just has no idea what the fuck is going on. Like, he's just like, the metaverse. It's like, Bobby, stop, bro. Like, this is why we're kicking you out. Like, Phil Spencer has literally said that, like, NFTs are, like, a very seemingly dangerous and, like, abusive to, like, you know, like, fans. Like, exploit people.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, Bobby over here being like, yo, the metaverse. And he's just like, yeah, exciting opportunity in the metaverse. Oh man, you could tell Phil is just not about it at all, dude.
Nah, you can tell.
But man, yeah, so good that the rot is gonna get pulled out because you know Phil ain't gonna fuck around, dude. Like if you pay that much money, dude, as if Microsoft wants these kinds of lawsuits
yeah.
for just as if Microsoft in general just wants these kind of workplace cultures. Like these cultures of just sexually harassing women and like taking women's breast milk and drinking it and like
Yeah,
doing just fucking awful shit to women, like
Yeah.
and minorities in general, and just sweeping it under the rug for years. Like it's like there's in no way Microsoft wants to deal with any of that shit ever at any of their studios.
Yeah. No.
So someone in chat's just asking something. I'm just going to clarify. So yeah, a very common thing that was done at the Blizzard offices was male employees would take pumped breast milk from female employees, where it was a fridge specifically dedicated to it. You know, for women who need a pump in the workplace, and they would take them and they would drink it, because they're fucking degenerates. So this is the kind of workplace culture that's been going on at Actiblizzard for a long time.
Yeah, apparently, like a long while. Like almost 40 people have been pushed out of the business since then. Like I don't know how many people remember this, but it used to be like 2 co-CEOs, and one of them was a woman, and she was like sexually harassed on the job too. And like
she was, and the fuck, you know what the crazy thing about that is though, with that lady?
How long
okay,
she was
so,
in the business? Like 2 months.
Yeah, but the reason also why. Okay, so also sorry, let's just fully get the skeletons out of Blizzard's closets. Huge pay disparity, completely sexist to women in the workplace, just complete degenerate shit. The Cosby Suite thing, I won't explain what that is. If you want to know what that is and you don't know what that is, literally just type in the Blizzard Cosby Suite. You'll figure it out pretty fast. It's in the name. Okay, so there was a guy called J. Allen Brack, who was the guy who came out and was just like, yeah, we stand for, you know, blah, 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 whatever. He got scapegoated. He got, like, destroyed from the company, sent out on his way. Blizzard then, Bobby, decided, he's like, you know what then? 2 of them. We'll have 2 people who, like, are going to be in charge of Blizzard. One who is a minority female, and the other who I don't remember if he's a white dude or a person of color. I cannot remember. But this is the fucked up part. Both doing exactly the same job, the same amount of work, all that shit. They paid her less. She
Yeah.
asked her colleague who she shared the role with. She was like, "How much are you getting paid?" And he said the amount, and she was getting paid less. And they are doing the exact same job.
Mhm.
It is the most fucked scenario of all time. Like it's so rampant. It's
Mm.
so rampant, and man, it just took a $67 million buyout to save these people. To save these people from just awful people in their workplace.
Mm.
And you know Microsoft will go through and get rid of that shit.
Oh,
They will
yeah.
go through. They will like do internal investigations into all of it. And they'll be like, sorry, bro, you kind of like stole this woman's breast milk and like drank it. So I'm gonna ask you to leave very kindly.
Yeah,
So
literally.
get out.
And apparently,
Yeah.
like looking at the news, that's sort of been one of the best sentiments and takeaways from the staff and employees at Activision Bethesda is that sort of like, yeah, Microsoft's going to come in and have a new level of leadership, sort of get rid of the old, take over, and make it a better place to work. Which I really hope
Yeah.
for the employees too. Like they're the ones who have suffered and endured this for like the
Oh
longest
man.
time.
It's always the ones in the trenches, bro. It's never the generals behind the desk.
Oh, yeah.
Like always. It's always the people at the bottom that get absolutely shit on. You know, game comes out and it's broken because they didn't get given enough time by upper management. Guess who gets the death threats? Oh, that's right. It's the guy who gets paid $50,000 a year to fucking run through all this code getting overworked to his deathbed.
Yeah.
Like, it's, yeah, dude, management in the gaming industry is just completely and utterly fucked. And it's good that Microsoft is leading such a good, strong example. The companies that they own, in which, you know, they're now like resetting the ecosystems of so many like former great companies that just kind of lost their way and or never really even had a way, just kind of like fucked from the beginning. Like Blizzard, it's just a complete boys club. Like, guys, if you want to look more into it, there's so many reports done on Activision Blizzard. Jason Schreier has done several of them that are just fascinating to read. To just how dog shit that company has been forever, like just forever. It's always been a boys club. So yeah. But I guess to summarize in general, crazy. They just got some of the most iconic game franchises of all time. Absurd acquisition.
Yeah, and obviously, like the aforementioned value add to Game Pass is just skyrocketed even further.
Oh man, Game Pass is crazy, dude.
So, like, obviously, Blizzard has a lot of like subscription-based services in there, but like, obviously, Activision's a bit more of a buy outright sort of situation. So, even still, like, you get a massive library of games, even like historically as well.
I mean, that's what I was going to talk about with Game Pass, where you asked if you asked me if the price was going to go up, and for the moment, and for like I would say the foreseeable future, no, because if you've just bought Call of Duty and you put that on Game Pass, imagine how many subs you're going to get to it. Imagine just the volume. Like right now, there are 25 million. Like how many units does Call of Duty move every year? Like roughly?
Ooh.
Is it 8 to 10 mil?
I think so.
Dude, let's say even like a quarter to half of them like get on board with that. Like you're getting an extra 5 million. Black Ops 3 was what, sorry?
Black Ops Call of Duty Black Ops did 30 million.
Sheesh. What are the latest ones though? I know Vanguard did not do well at all, but I'm pretty sure Modern Warfare did extremely well.
Sales.
Because the next Call of Duty is going to be Modern Warfare 2. It's going to be a continuation from Modern Warfare. Imagine if they acquire them before that comes out and that's on Game Pass day one. Could you imagine how many subs that's going to drive in? That's why I don't think they'll raise the price, for now at least. Because the amount of people that are going to be coming into it is going to be insane. Like, that monthly figure, what do we have, like 400 million? or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Dude, that's gonna be like 600 mil.
Yeah. Easy.
Like, at least, right? Like, and that's just for Call of Duty. Man, you're gonna have Overwatch 2 on Game Pass, you're gonna have Diablo on Game Pass. It's gonna be crazy, man.
Mm.
All previous games, Game Pass. Dude,
Yeah.
actually, now I'm thinking about it. Holy shit. Every Call of Duty on Game Pass?
Mm.
That's wild.
Yeah. Like, even the games that have sort of, like, I think Call of Duty is sort of one of those games that has a sustained life, I guess you could call it.
Mm.
So I reckon it's now going to see a further afterlife with more people having access to it. Whereas, like, you know, previously you had to download a game from, like, either Steam or some shoddy website, and then obviously create a server for it to play it with your friends. Now they're sort of cutting that middle process out, and they'll be able to have everything on Game Pass. Yeah, game changer.
Yeah.
Game changer.
I
Because
mean,
there are people
so-
who go back and play those older games.
Oh, for sure. There's so many people that go back and play those older games or just stay on them. They're just like, nope, gonna get my $60 out of this one for 4 years. It's like, hey, you do you, man. If you love the game, that's hella great. Someone in chat brought up a important point, which is that, you know, the world is moving to subscription stuff and they hate it. And to that, I'm also not a big fan of subscription totally replacing physical.
Mm.
I think physical is a very special medium, and the good thing with Microsoft at least is they feel the same. Phil has stated very often that the subscription is to never replace physical. He has stated heaps of times that he believes physical is still a very important part of the ecosystem of gaming and the tradition of gaming, which is great that he's a figurehead for that. I feel Sony's the same too, because the Japanese also are very traditional in what they know, and they know people love physical games. So I don't think physical games are going anywhere necessarily. I just think for people who can't afford, like, you know, at the Christmas period when they want to play, you know, there's like 3 games that have come out in the same month, and they can't afford that $70 like American every single time it comes out. That's who I think subscription is for. It's for people that, you know, can't justify buying all of their games physically.
And it's
I
the
think.
fact
I
of
think
the
that's the
matter
best
where-
case scenario.
I think it's a matter of the fact where people are like, well, I don't know if I'm going to like this game either. You know, the subscription service gives people the option of being like almost like a try before you buy. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's got that element to it where you don't have ownership of it, sure, but like a lot of the time, if you finish with a game, how many times do you come back to it? In all honesty, I think that's
Me.
Yeah,
Me,
I think
because
like,
I'm a savage.
I think that's where subscription services are really beneficial. And like, yeah, how many games come out in a good year, like a non-COVID year? You've got tons. And truth be told, like, you're not going to keep up with everything that every game developer comes out with. Like, especially Microsoft now having so many developers under their belt, like Bethesda,
And they
or
have so many.
Activision, EA Pass, like, you know,
Bethesda.
if you include all of them, you've got most of the gaming market, right? Truth be told, I'm not going to get to every game of theirs that they bring out this year. So it's a nice opportunity for me to come back and be like, hey, there was that game that I wanted to play at a certain period in time. Now I can, and I get to do it all for the low price of $15.95. Similar to like Netflix, it's like that demand service where it's like, hey, I can now watch any show or movie under their belt for this price, and like you're definitely going to get the value out of it. Like, same with, I think, like, my best subscription service is Disney Plus. I watch a movie and a TV show at least a week, you know. And comparatively, like, to buy a physical movie or to go to the cinemas or whatever, I'm paying more than what I pay for a month on that service. Another
point to bring up is the comparison to Netflix. and making more sense in the fact that, you know, movies aren't like replayable inherently.
Mm.
But the funny thing is, like, yes, games are replayable, but some of them, like, there are some games that I would not want to play again, if that makes sense. Like games that are more filmic in the nature. Like I've played through The Last of Us once.
Mm-hmm.
I never want to play it again, if that makes sense. Hitman, however, dude, throw me in the same level 18 times, bro. Like I am ready to go. Like I think it's very dependent on the game. I think the smart thing that Phil and Xbox are doing is that they're creating something for everyone. God, that's such a Nintendo line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that like? But it's true though. Like they have something for everyone. They've got something for people who can't afford to keep buying physical games, especially like maybe they can buy one and then they can use the subscription to the other until they can like, you know, buy it physically then themselves or something, right? Or kids. Dude, could you imagine being a kid and having Game Pass? Because when I was a kid, poor as fuck, right? Like you get 1 or 2 games a year. One for your birthday, one for Christmas.
Yep.
Could you imagine being like a 10-year-old kid and having Game Pass and you just have fucking all you can eat buffet of video games?
Literally.
It's crazy.
And
like
the price that your mum could get you like a single game, right? You can get these cards, no joke, at your local supermarket, which means any parent, if they want to safely get their kids like a voucher or a code so that they're not logging in with credit card details or whatever, they can get this for them for a year for like $100, because I think it's discounted if you get like a year's subscription or whatever.
Compared to the normal amounts, for sure.
Totally. So like,
but
ridiculous.
it's such good value for kids.
Totally.
And that's like a thing that like a lot of people forget about, is that kids also play games, because most of us are now grown into adults, so we don't really think about the demographic beneath us too much.
Yeah.
Kids still make up a really big chunk. I mean, the average age of the gamer now is like 31 or something. But like there's still millions of kids that play games, and I think for them, like it's obviously, I think it's a must, like, because obviously, like, it's cool to get like one, but it's still probably the same situation. They probably get like 1 or 2 physical games a year, and then, you know, like that's it. But it's just also like subscriptions are also just good for people who can't afford it, people who don't care about physical games, you know, people who are on that budget for sure. Like the best deal in gaming, and like I don't know if probably no one who stumbles upon this podcast is probably not a gamer, but if someone's looking for the best value in gaming to just get straight into it, man, you get a Game Pass, you get a Series S.
Yep.
You're off to the races, man. Like you get your little $4.99 console, you get your Game Pass, man. Every first party title for like to the moon.
That's it,
dude. You're gaming. It's so easy to get in now. Microsoft have made it so accessible. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's it. And they've like got so many gaming markets covered now, from like everyday casual gamer to more of your like heavy story based, you know, 100+ hour games as well. Like yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
wild.
It's gonna be crazy to see what
timeline.
It's gonna be crazy to see what happens within like the gaming industry as a whole, and like what other transactions happen, because Microsoft has been buying up a storm recently. So
that's where I'm worried if they're gonna get monopolied. Like if the government agencies that have to obviously approve these purchases are gonna go, you're starting to get like a little bit big. Like there has to be a cutoff point at some point, because like I imagine this one will go through, and I feel like the surrounding factors also of how shit Activision Blizzard is currently will they'll probably push for like yes, because this is I think it's inherently a good thing.
I think so,
because, you know, Philly's hands off too. It's all autonomy. Like developers go on as they were. It's not like, oh, you're going to start working on this now. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's very worrying in the sense that, like, we think about it now that Sony doesn't have to retaliate, right? But they probably will.
They need to, I think. Like, I feel like after the whole Bethesda acquisition, they would have been a bit, like, shook. And now they're probably seeing this deal.
They bought something after that, right? Who did they buy? They bought someone after that Bethesda deal. I'm forgetting who it is, though. Hold on, let me see if I can find who it was. Sony.
I'm just seeing that Sony shares dropped 13% on the news of the Microsoft deal. That's hilarious. Valkyrie Entertainment?
Maybe.
That was on the 10th.
Oh, that's right. They acquired House Marquee and Bluepoint after that.
Ah, that's right.
And Firesprite and Fabric games as well. So, I mean, House Marquee, good. Bluepoint, goated. Like, huge. But it's like
minuscule.
If you think about it, in terms of like big boys still at play, you have Sega.
Yeah.
You have Konami, Omega LOL.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they still have IP. They don't make games, but you know they have the IP.
Could buy it for the IP.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, so Sega, Konami. You have who's another? You have Bungie, technically, because they're independent too. Well, wouldn't that be fucked if Microsoft bought Bungie? I'm just like, wait, Bungie left Microsoft. I'm like, imagine if they bought them back. That would be the funniest timeline ever. But maybe that's what Sony looks at. Oh, they can't afford Bungie. Surely not.
I mean, how much would a Bungie go for, do you reckon?
At least $5 billion.
Sure. That's an easy get, I reckon.
$5 billion? Bro, Sony doesn't spend that money. They don't have that money.
They're investing in.
Have you seen how much they've bought studios for?
No.
I don't think they've ever bought a studio in the billions ever. I think they've only ever bought in the millions.
Maybe now's the time then.
Does Sony have that?
Like, I mean, if you look at Sony,
not Microsoft, they're not comparable. Like Microsoft is like a giant dong. Like, Sony in comparison is a flaccid boy in terms of the business structure of it. Like, Microsoft has infinite money. Sony I would say has finite money.
Interesting.
Like, they've always made smart acquisitions. They've never made big acquisitions.
That's true.
If that makes sense.
That's true. So looking at this, basically it was like, how much is Sony worth? At the end of April 2021, Sony was valued at $22.67 billion. So maybe Microsoft buys them.
Could you imagine if Microsoft comes out with a press release about like, we're so happy to announce the PlayStation family is joining the Xbox family.
Just like a picture of like Shuhei and Phil like shaking hands. They cut the ribbon at like...
We're so excited for all the IP of PlayStation to join Xbox.
That would be like the
definitely the government agencies then they wouldn't be like definitely not going to deny that as a monopoly. They're like, nah, this seems good as long as, you know, like Bungie's still out there on its own.
That's crazy.
That's funny. That's true. They could buy them probably actually, but they won't.
Yeah.
It's any consumer laws, blah blah blah. But yeah. I mean, wait, what did we get to? We got 3. We had Sega, we had Konami, we had Bungie,
Ubisoft.
We have Valve, Ubisoft. Yeah, Ubisoft. That's a weird one.
They're a non-competitor in this whole thing. Like, they're not playing with anything. They got their own NFT scandals to worry about at the moment.
Oh God, I fucking hate Ubisoft. Oh God. Yeah, crazy man. I don't know. Like, I feel like Xbox is done for a while. But I
Yeah.
say that, but that's what I said after they bought Bethesda.
Hmm.
That's what I said after Bethesda. I'm like, they're done for a while.
Yeah.
Like, they might like, grab like an indie studio here and there type deal, sort of scenario. But you know what? Maybe they're just gonna be like, fuck you, and we're just gonna just keep the acquisitions
Keep the ball
coming
rolling.
along.
Yeah.
I could see them buying like Deep Silver or someone,
Yeah.
like the guys who make Dying Light and stuff.
I could see that.
Oh, actually, calling it now. They'll buy IO.
You reckon?
I bet
Hmm.
someone's buying IO. I'm calling it now. I don't know if it's Xbox or Sony, but someone's gonna buy IO. Mark my words, gamers. Mark my words. IO's getting bought. I don't know by who, but they're too valuable.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I guess we'll wait and see what happens in the next little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we should probably wrap it there. We kind of rambled a good chunk on. I mean, it is big news. It's like I feel like it's something you have to talk about because it's like I don't want to like jinx it, but I'm like this is like a once in a decade move. I feel like it's huge to not fully explore the context of what is happening.
I think it's crazy. Like I thought that when I saw the Take-Two's Zynga deal being like the biggest in history, and then like obviously being overtaken within like a week, within like just over a week, dropping this.
Microsoft be like, hold my beer.
Yeah, totally. Crazy, absolutely crazy. As a quick closing remark, I think very excited to see what happens within the next like 12 to 24 months with the news of this deal, and what it means for the gaming space. Obviously, it's super exciting for the gaming space. Just keen to see what happens with it.
Indeed.
Jordy, do you have a closing statement?
Look, some say it's about drive, and it's about power, and that if you stay hungry, you devour. But really, what I think it's about is like you can hate or you can create. That's just my feelings right now.
Terrible. All right, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Game Lounge podcast. If you did enjoy, please be sure to not leave without leaving a like, as it really does help us grow. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined the Traveling Tent as part of Geordie's and Ina's group today. It's been excellent having you along for the ride. Thank you for your input, for comments, questions. We love it. We love seeing you guys interact. And yeah, we will see you all very soon. See you later.